Well, hi again, everybody, and welcome into the Lorain County Blitz, a product of the Chronicle Telegram and AM 930, 100.3 FM WEOL. I'm Matt Douglas from the aforementioned WEOL. Alongside me, Marissa McNeese from the Chronicle Telegram. Make sure you check her out on Twitter as well. Where can folks catch up and read about the latest housewife saga and, more importantly, Lorain County sports?
Yeah, I got high school football tweets on there too, but make sure to follow me at Marissa NM. Football season, we got playoffs to talk about here. It's almost basketball season. I've got you covered.
Sure do. A lot of high school football obviously being played last week in Lorain County. It was the final week of the regular season. We had some great games, and I think the first team you really got to look out and give a lot of credit to is the Avon Eagles. They've completed the perfect regular season, win 10-0, tough conference, SWC this season. They won their fourth consecutive SWC title, and they topped it all off with a big victory, 49-21 victory over an Amherst team that needed that win to get into the postseason, Marissa.
Yeah, and you got to mention, it's their third undefeated regular season in 4 seasons. Avon Eagles, I mean, would it be week 11 if we weren't talking about them right now? I don't think so.
Certainly have to talk about them, the injuries that they fought through. A new starting quarterback this year, Danny Zay, another tremendous year. Capped it all off, 228 yards passing, threw 4 touchdowns. And Devon Hunter, who comes in for the injured Nick Perusic, was going to be gone for the Eagles throughout the rest of the postseason as well with an ACL tear. Devon Hunter's done a tremendous job and followed it up again. 227 yards in that last outing against Amherst, 4 touchdowns to go along with it. Now that's Division II, Region 6 that Avon clinched the first place spot in. The second place spot was taken by the Avon Lake Shoremen, who picked up a victory over Olmsted Falls 31-7. And again, that defense dominating this week for the Shoremen.
I know, and Olmsted Falls scores first, snaps that shutout streak, which was, 4 at this point. That defense, seemingly unstoppable. Olmsted Falls comes in, but Avon Lake holds them. They don't score again after that and rolls to another win and second overall seed.
Yeah, didn't even seem to faze the Shoremen, which is why they've accomplished what they've accomplished, finishing the regular season 9-1. Their only loss to that aforementioned Avon Eagles team. Other victories this week. Teams not necessarily making the postseason, but some solid wins. The Midview Middies. They were a team that finished with just 2 wins a year ago. Their victory over Westlake, 42-0 last Friday night. It gives them a .500 record and a lot to build on. With a young team, a lot of returners coming back for the Middies next season. Yeah,
they've got to be so encouraged with what they've seen down the stretch. A couple shaky games here and there, but Coach Shaw's got to like what he's seen towards the last few weeks of the season.
Absolutely. One of those young players, Ethan Surdock, their quarterback, just a sophomore. So he's got 2 more seasons with the Midview Middies. Another team needed a win for a chance to get into the playoffs was the Wellington Dukes. They ran into a very good Firelands team in the final week of the season. Wellington, big win, 43-13 over Firelands. Unfortunately, it doesn't end up being enough as they fall just short in 9th place in Division 5, Region 22. But just the second year for Coach Howes at Wellington, this team's moving in the right direction.
It's hard to see that now when you were so close to a playoff spot, but just 1 win from a season ago, such a turnaround for Wellington. And it was really a great season despite being disappointed a little at the end with not making the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to be a threat, I think, in the future in that Lorain County League for sure. And then another team that has dominated in Lorain County League play and outside of it as well, the Keystone Wildcats. They pick up a Week 10 victory over Oberlin, 54-30. It completes a perfect record for them in the Lorain County League. Their only loss coming back at the beginning of the season to a Bay Rockets team, a couple divisions ahead of them. But the Cats playing great football as they head into the postseason, Marissa.
I know, and they scored 54 points, but I think Coach Griswold and the team, I don't think they were really happy with their performance in Week 10, so they're really looking to step it up as we head into the postseason here.
Yeah, they expect a lot out of their team, and we'll talk a little bit more about their playoff matchup. It's a tough one, but they are the top seed over there in Division 4, Region 14. All right, this kind of leads us into our one of our favorite segments, I think, of the show. We get to name our first Federal Savings of Lorain Team of the Week. There were a lot of teams, obviously doing some big things, making postseason pushes, getting into the playoffs. But I think one you got to look at. Take a look at the second half of the season for this squad, the Columbia Raiders. They finished with an upset victory over Black River, 35-12. And Marissa, it's their 4th win in their last 5 games. They were 0-5 going into week number 6.
I got to give it up. I did not pick them to win that game, and there were several games this year. I didn't pick them, but that's on me. That's a team, they always find ways to win, and what a huge win over a Black River team that was sitting in a playoff spot going into Week 10.
The fashion they did it in, too. They fought fire with fire. They gave it to the run game. Joe Governale, another tremendous outing, 166 yards. 3 touchdowns. That, of course, means the offensive line for the Columbia Raiders was on fire. And to hold Black River to just 12 points, not an easy task. Not many teams have done it this year.
No.
So that's why the Columbia Raiders, despite the fact they come up just a bit short in a playoff push, they are our first Federal Savings of Lorraine Team of the Week. A great way to finish off the season. And Marissa, I also think it makes a statement to the rest of the Lorain County League. There was another team that did this a year ago. Started the year off tough, then finished strong at the end of the year. That was the Wildcats, who won this league, are top seed in the playoff. Columbia Raiders just sent notice to the rest of the league. Watch out in 2020.
Absolutely. They've got so many players coming back. That's going to be a team to keep an eye on next season.
So, again, congratulations to the Columbia Raiders, our first Federal Savings of Lorraine Team of the Week. Another one of our favorite segments. We get to name a couple of players that we thought had outstanding weeks in week number 10, and we call it the top 2 from these 2. I think I started it off last week, Marissa, so if you want to take the duties here and name the first player.
Well, record-breaking performance for my player this week. Got to give it up to Chase Christensen from Clearview. Breaks a school record with his 28th passing touchdown. He had 4 and a huge win for the Clippers versus Brookside, and a really great performance. Clearview finishing 8-2 this season, just missed a playoff spot, but Chase with a huge performance this week for Clearview.
Yeah, he absolutely did. And again, in that tough Lorain County League all season long for Chase Christensen to break the school touchdown passing record in a year like this, I think it holds a little more weight to exactly what he accomplished. Well, my top 2 from these 2, I'm going to go with Harry Hebert out of Avon Lake. Field goal kicker, also a defensive player. He gets on the field quite a bit for the Shoremen, but he gets an opportunity to kick a field goal from 43 yards out. A feat you don't often see in high school football. No. It's earlier in the second half. It's still a close game between them and the Bulldogs, and he puts it through the uprights from 43 yards out. So I picked Harry Hebert as my top 2 from these 2 as that final week of the season. At least my top player on that one, because, again, a 43-yard field goal, not an easy task.
Not at all.
You ever booted a football, try and put it through the uprights?
No, not at all.
I certainly couldn't do it from 43 yards out. I could hit from maybe 5 if I'm lucky.
Maybe. I'm not even going to try it, though.
All right. We've got the playoffs coming up. It's week 11. Not everyone gets to participate anymore, but we've got some great games coming your way this week on AM 930, 100.3 FM, WEOL. If you miss any of the games, don't worry. Chronicle Telegram, you guys have it covered with the Blitz. By the way, I got to mention, tremendous on your part, the Chronicle Telegram picket line. You know what you officially ended in here? Because you were 3rd going into the final week of the season.
Finished tied for 3rd.
All right.
Very proud of myself. Tim, shout out Tim Alcorn. I took our team 3rd place, which, not first, but I'm happy with it. My first year on the picket line, I'll take it.
Yeah, I like that. So that co-group, Tim Alcorn, Marissa McNeese, finished tied for 3rd on the Chronicle Telegram picket line. And I don't mean to say Marissa did it all, but I believe Tim had you at 7th place when he officially parted ways.
That's okay, Tim.
it's every part that counts,
That's right.
going into it. So congratulations on
Thanks,
that,
Matt.
for sure. But do make sure if you missed one of the games, check it out in the Blitz, the Chronicle Telegram on Saturday. Again, our coverage starts on Friday night on AM 930, 100.3 FM. NWEOL.com with our Center for Orthopedics Gridiron Clashes. We start Division II, Region 6 on the radio. We've got the Avon Eagles, top seed in that bracket. They will take on the 8th seed, the Worcester Generals. Should be a very interesting game. Avon, again, perfect throughout the regular season. They seem to have the ball rolling as they head into the postseason once again.
Got a home game, which they love, and they seem to be the favorite in this game. They're playing like they are, and it should be a good game, though I don't think Avon's overlooking any opponent at this point. So
not by any chances, Another SWC making it in, Division 2, Region 6. Our WEOL.com stream 2 game on Friday night features the Avon Lake Shoremen. They take on the Maple Heights Mustangs, a team we've seen in the past on WEOL. They took on Lorraine, and Lorraine came out with the victory. You have to think Avon Lake with the home crowd have to be a little bit of a favorite in this one.
Absolutely, and with that defense, they've got to be the favorite in any game they're in at this point. But Maple Heights is going to do some things. They've got some great athletes on their team. So Avon Lake will, they're going to be put to the test.
Without a doubt. And then on Friday night, our Tri-C Medina County matchup features the Medina Battling Bees. They are the 7th seed in Division I Region 1, taking on the 2 seed, the St. Edward Eagles. If you know anything about football, particularly this year, the Medina Battling Bees, a team that likes to throw the ball. It makes for exciting football, and well, if you know anything about high school football in Ohio, St. Ed's is St. Ed's. Yeah. They play extremely good football, particularly this time of year. So another game we're looking forward to. Our coverage doesn't end there, though. On Saturday night, we've got 2 more games for you. Looking at Division 4, Region 14, the top seed in that bracket, the Keystone Wildcats, take on Clyde, a team who comes in 6-4. But Marissa, I was looking at their schedule. They lost 2 games by less than 3 points. I mean, a bounce here or there, they easily could have been an 8-2 team going in.
Absolutely. I think at Keystone, they're really excited. Playoff football back, and I think they're going to be really, coming in strong in this game. They were disappointed. Even though 54-30 win, I think they were a little bit disappointed with how they played. So coming into this game, they're going to be ready to go. The Shacklefords, everybody's going to come out and play their best.
I'm looking forward to it. The atmosphere up in Keystone is going to be exciting. I'm going to have the opportunity to be at that game. I'll be covering it for WEOL down on the sidelines. Eddie Bartz will have the call, and then our coverage. That's our radio game. Our coverage continues on WEOL.com. Stream number 2 on Saturday night is Elyria Catholic in Division 5 taking on the defending Division 5 champions in Clyde, the team who only had 1 loss this year. It was to Manchester, and they only lost by 3. Elyria Catholic, the 3 losses about the middle of the season. But Marissa, they seem to figure it out. I mean, they beat a very good Holy Name team who's being represented in Division 3. I think this really could be a good game.
It could. That's a team they needed to win to get in. They did. They know what's at stake, and they know what they have to do to get it done. So, I mean, taking on Orville, defending state champs, not going to be easy, but I think they'll draw something up. We'll see.
Should be a fun game. I'm looking forward to see what Brian Fox draws up for that one. Again, that's our coverage this Friday and Saturday night on AM 930, 100.3 FM, WEOL, and WEOL.com. 2 other games we're not going to cover, but from the area, Olmsted Falls in action. They will take on Wadsworth on the road Friday night. The Buckeye Bucks, they drew a home game in Division 3. They host the Sandusky Blue Streaks to start off the postseason. Both those games on Friday night. That was a lot of fun, Marissa, as always. We should do this again perhaps next week and kind of recap the end of the season.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sounds like a good time. All right, a big thank you to everyone here at the Chronicle Telegram, Kristen Bauer shooting the video, and, of course, a big thank you goes to you, the viewers. We'll see you next week, recap the season, and tell you what's ahead as we head even further into the playoffs here on the Lorain County Blitz.